Welcome back to Football Chronicles, everyone. Today we've got a lot to unpack from Real Madrid's 1-1 draw against Las Palmas, and let's just say it was not pretty. Sure, it is only the third league game of the season, but what we saw out there today was far from impressive, was far from convincing. So let's dive right into the video and let's find out the 5 things that we learned from Real Madrid's 1-1. A disjointed team performance and a lack of a plan. First off, let's talk about the overall team performance. In the first half, it honestly felt like we were watching a preseason game and not a competitive La Liga game. The team looked completely disjointed, basic passes were going astray, and there was zero chemistry on the pitch. And I mean, come on, this is Real Madrid. We should be seeing fluid, confident play, not a bunch of guys who look like they just met and they forgot how to play football with each other. While on the other hand, La Palmas had no trouble getting into our box because they used smooth passes and made our defense and midfield look like amateurs, especially in the build-up to the first goal. And let's be real, conceding a goal in the 5th minute of the game is a direct result of no one being switched on in the team. The lack of pressing, the failure to win the 50-50s, the inability to pass and hold the ball confidently, or even the lack of intensity to win back possession, it all contributed to the early goal that we conceded, and hence we were on the back foot from very early on in the game. And nothing really changed for us even after conceding the goal, because our team still lacked any structure in their approach to go and get back into the game. Until the second half, it seemed like the fullbacks had no idea that they needed to contribute to the build-up play in the game. And also, our midfielders lacked any urgency you would expect from the team that's one goal behind. The transition from defense to attack was mediocre, with a clear lack of focus. Hence, the lack of a plan became even more evident when the likes of Vinicius and Mbappe did nothing but try to take on their man and get a shot off, instead of trying to do something more tactical or something more creative. And none of this changed until the half-time team talk. And yes, even though things improved slightly in the second half, it was still a performance that lacked any real inspiration. The team didn't look like that they wanted to be out there, and let's face it, no one in the squad today, maybe barring Fede Valverde, deserves a rating above a 6.5, and even Fede barely scrapes by with a 6.9 rating, or maybe a 7. Brahim, Modric, Mendy, Vinicius and Rodrigo, they all had games to forget, even Mbappe. It was like everyone completely ghosted it out there. The midfield and fullbacks in particular had a very bad day out. Point number 2. Our midfield and fullback issues from the last 2 games continue. Let's talk about the midfield. Whether it was Brahim and Modric in the first half, both of whom were as poor as you can get in terms of passing accuracy, or it was Tchouaméni losing the ball in crucial positions on the pitch and being lazy in his efforts to recover possession. It is really a very dire situation in the middle of the park when Modric, of all people, cannot keep control of the ball. And especially when our centre-backs are the best passers of the ball in the game, because none of our midfielders looked comfortable even holding the ball, let alone passing it around. And do not even get me started on the fullbacks. Mendy and Vasquez barely pushed up the field or got into wide areas to create a passing opportunity on the flanks. Another issue with the fullbacks recently has been their inability to deliver quality crosses or switch play with long balls to the opposite flank. This is something that needs to be addressed, and soon, by the coaching staff, because it's even scary to think about what the likes of City or Liverpool could do to our midfield when Las Palmas did what they did today. Point number 3. Our attacking unit struggles again, and the need for a number 9. Now, moving up the pitch, the attacking unit today was just as frustrating as any other part on the pitch. Vinicius, Mbappe, Rodrigo need to be more disciplined. regarding the positions they take on the pitch, especially in the attacking third. Vinicius cannot always try to take on his marker, and Mbappe has to stop taking shots when he has no space because they will get blocked. Also, the lack of chemistry, poor decision making, and failure to create quality chances were disturbing to watch, especially with an attacking trio as talented as this one on the pitch. And yes, I understand they will take time to gel, and I understand that the goals will come. That's not the issue for me. The issue for me is that we need to see the improvement game by game. We need to see the growth each upcoming game, and we should not see the same mistakes being repeated again and again. At this stage, with the lack of support from the fullbacks and the absence of a midfield threat like Bellingham on the pitch, our trio is left isolated and frustrated multiple times during the game against low block opponents. But let's not ignore the elephant in the room. This team is crying out for a proper number 9 or a strong presence in the box. Because as soon as Endrick comes on and attacks the central areas of the box, we automatically look better and more dangerous. We need to understand that playing with 3 wingers is not the answer. Their best moments come when they are on the wings, not when they are playing centrally. And that applies to each of the 3 in Vinicius, Rodrigo and Mbappe. Now, how to fix this? I don't know, because Endrick is clearly too young to start, and that is very clear. But this is Ancelotti's problem to solve, not mine. So, Carlo needs to figure this out fast or we are in trouble, because we cannot drop any more points in the league due to a toothless and very predictable attack. Point number 4. Carlo's tactical struggles and the team's identity crisis. Speaking of trouble, Carlo Ancelotti lost the managerial battle today. He was forced to switch formations twice during the game against a team that finished 16th last season. Las Palmas overran our midfield and penetrated our box so easily, and even forced Courtois into making the better saves out of the 2 keepers on the field today. Carlo looked visibly frustrated on the touchline with what his team was going through. My take on this is that Carlo and the fans need to quickly come to terms with the fact that Toni Kroos is gone and there's not a like-for-like replacement for him in the team who can control the tempo of the game and play the perfect through passes with the accuracy that Kroos did. Therefore, tactical changes are a must in our team's setup. Whether it's through designated roles or a fixed style of play, something definitely needs to change. And that is Carlo Ancelotti's job. But right now, one thing is very clear. This team has no defensive structure, no diverse attacking patterns, and definitely has a midfield that looks clueless with or without the ball. We have been relying on individual brilliance and not teamwork in the last few matches to get the results that we needed, and we have finally paid the price for it. But one thing I really like about this current situation is that Carlo in today's post-match interview did take responsibility for the team's lack of creating high quality chances and the team's inability to recover possession quickly. He further announced to the media that he will be the one finding the solution for it, as he agrees with the fans that nothing has changed the team's performance since Mallorca. And that is definitely a huge positive, because I believe in Carlo and I believe he will find us the solution, because this is a very talented team and it definitely should do well. But this is not the only positive from today's game. Why is that? Because point number 5, we had a lucky penalty but also a few more positives. Now I know it was a disappointing performance, but it's not all doom and gloom. Despite the poor performance, we did not outright lose the game. Yes, it was a lucky penalty that came off Vinicius missing a really good chance. But there were a few positives apart from the penalty too, like Arda, who came on and made a clear difference. He created a few good chances, put in good crosses, and made us look dangerous when we were trying to overload the box of Las Palmas by being an attacking threat in that area. Also on the positive is the coming on of Endrick today, who again in a brief cameo nearly scored the winner for us. It's like when he comes on the pitch, it frees up space for our wingers and Arda to create, which is a huge positive for us to build on. In addition to all that, I would also like to mention the substitutions of Fran Garcia and Carvajal coming on, as they also improved our ability in the wide areas and clearly showed the difference fullbacks who actually push up the field make in contributing to great attacking performances by the team. So there you have it, a disappointing performance for sure that leaves us with a lot of questions and very few answers. And the team definitely needs to fix these issues, and fast, if we want to stand a chance in the league title race. But yes, it's still early on in the season and there's time to turn things around. Now, let me know in the comments what you think needs to change for the team to get back on track. And as always, do not forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out a post-match breakdown. Until next time, Hala Madrid.